Patriot League champion Holy Cross Crusaders. It's Patriot League women's basketball action. Holy Cross, Lafayette, next.
From the Kirby Sports Center on the campus of Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania, the Lafayette Sports Network, in cooperation with WBPH Channel 60 and RCN4 Sports, presents Patriot League basketball. This afternoon's matchup, the Holy Cross Crusaders are in town under head coach Bill Gibbons, 18 years at the helm. They come in 8-6. They are 2-0 in the Patriot League. They'll take on Tammy Smith's Lafayette Leopards. Tammy in her second season, 2-12 on the year. They are 1-1 in the Patriot League. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Laubach along with John Leone. Welcome to today's doubleheader. Holy Cross in town, and Holy Cross, the men and the women, John, just fabulous basketball team.
Kind of reload every year, Gary. Holy Cross women come in with a 6-6 record, but don't be deceived. All 6 of their losses have come to teams that are either ranked in the top 25 or have received votes in that top 25 poll.
Yeah, they've gone so far as to play the UConns of the world, John, and it's just simply a matter of getting better because they basically know, or at least they always believe, they're going to win the Patriot League and get to the NCAA.
Right, so they want to test themselves early in the season against the best possible competition. Bill Gibbons does a great job with his team. They're led this year by Katie O'Keefe and Maggie Fontana, kind of an inside-outside combination.
Yeah, it's a team that lost 2 1,000-point scorers. They still have one 1,000-point scorer left on the ball club, and they just simply reload. On the other side, we look at the Lafayette Lady Leopards, and a sad story. Jen Bear, 21 points shy of 1,000, goes down with a broken ankle in the Army game a minute and a half into the ball game. She's done. Her career is over. She would have become a 1,000-point scorer and a 600 rebounder.
We'll develop it more later on, Gary. There's a lot to that story, but you're absolutely right. It's a tough break for Lafayette, for the team, and personally for Jen Bear. It comes on the heels of the loss of Lindsey Myers as well. So Tammy Smith up against it. We'll see what they can do today.
They have 5 injured players, 3 of them out for the year, but they're here to take on the Crusaders. When we come back, the introduction of today's starting lineups. Sarah Wascura with our national anthem, doing a beautiful job as we get ready for the introduction of today's starting lineups. And there's a happy fan getting ready to watch Lafayette women's basketball. It will be Holy Cross who will be introduced first. Their head coach, Bill Gibbons, more victories than any Holy Cross coach in history. Number 3 at forward, Mary Rose Campbell, a 5'11 junior, Richmond, Virginia, 4 points a game. Number 35 is Katie O'Keefe, 6'2 senior, Stratham, New Hampshire, 1,320 points, leading scorer 15.6. Number 10, point guard, is Sarah Placek, 5'3 freshman, Alexandria, Virginia, 8.7 points a game. Maggie Fontana is number 34, a 5'11 sophomore, Barrington, Illinois, 13.4 points a game. And the other guard is 31, Liz O'Connor, 5'11 senior, Wethersfield, Connecticut, 8.3 points per ball game. As we said, Holy Cross comes in 8-6. Bill Gibbons, 18 seasons, 364 and 155, assisted by Melissa Hodgkin, Catherine Dio Jacinto, and Kinney. And Kinney, by the way, 10th at Holy Cross in scoring with 1,234 points. Number 12 for Lafayette is guard Ashley McClellan, 5'11 sophomore, Kimberton, Pennsylvania, 2.8 points a game. 25 is Liz Rojan, a 5'10 senior, York, Pennsylvania, 10.1 points per game. Colleen Fitzpatrick, the leading scorer for the Lady Leopards, number 30, a 5'11 junior, Springfield, Pennsylvania, 16.4 a game. Next out is Kristen Doherty, 13. She is a 5'8 freshman, Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, 7.3 points per ball game. And finally, Kim Costello, number 21, a 5'8 senior, Pleasant Valley, New York, 4.6 points per game. There's Tammy Smith in her second season, and it has been one of injury. 3 season-ending injuries, 5 injured players, and the official for today's contest. As you get a look at the 3 of them, it is Robert McEntee, Kelly Gill, and Ken Kelly.
Gary, we talked a little bit about the absence of Jen Baer. She went down in the last game against Army. You know, Lafayette was coming off a great road win. As we take a look at the starters, you just mentioned them, but Lafayette coming off a great road win at Colgate. And individually, Jen Baer coming off a great string of games. She was accepted recently into the Indiana University Medical School. Her academic program has lightened up a little bit, and she was just coming into her own.
Dan Mounty is with us today, and he'll give us more information about Jen Baer. Here's Dan.
All right, Gary, thanks. I got a chance to talk to Jen Baer during the shoot-around before the game. The senior center is suffering from a fractured and separated fracture of her ankle. The bones actually moved apart, so they had to put in a large plate and put in multiple screws to hold it all together. The good news is she may be back on the court in 6 weeks. Now back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you very much, and certainly we hope she does indeed get back, as she is 21 points shy of 1,000, and it would be a shame if she was not able to get those points up on the board. Expect because of that Holy Cross to go inside. They do it immediately as Katie O'Keefe can't get the turnaround. Half hook shot, and Lafayette quickly down the floor.
Yeah, don't expect Tammy Smith now to change her style. Tammy wants these kids to run and run hard. That could play into the hands of the more athletic Holy Cross team. But remember, this is a team in progress, a work in progress, and Tammy's not going to deviate from her plan.
Doherty tried to drop it down inside to Fitzpatrick and could not do that. Colleen, by the way, is first in the league in field goal percentage, a phenomenal 59%, except if you look at last year when she shot 62% from the field and led the league.
Yeah, good news, bad news, right?
She's having an off year, John. Pull-up jump shot does not drop. It's taken from the outside by Katie O'Keefe. And the rebound for the Leopards quickly down the floor. Rojan looks to her left and finds McClellan. Ashley down inside to Fitz. Fitz can't get it up and in. Pretty good defense inside by Mary Rose Campbell.
Great defense on the interior, but pretty good offensive execution by the Leopards. It just didn't convert.
Placek puts it up and in and gets Holy Cross on the board.
That sequence right there, Gary, just illustrating the difference in size and strength. Lafayette with a pretty good look at the basket, just couldn't get it to go.
Doherty tried to take it to the hoop, and she had her shot blocked. A little tough to shoot the ball over Katie O'Keefe. Good hustle, though, by Doherty. She comes right down and steals the basketball. As Kim Costello hit a pull-up jump shot, it'll go back of iron and will not go.
A real good decision there by Kim. She had numbers. She could have forced the action, but she chose to pull up instead.
Well, it's Placek 2 field goals, and Lafayette none. 4-0 Holy Cross.
Holy Cross extends some pressure. Now they're going to want to force the tempo, Gary. They've got the advantage in size, speed, and numbers.
Liz Rojan, boom, bottom of the hole for Liz as she hits her third triple of the season.
Huge, and Liz is going to have to step up big time because of the absence of both Lindsey Myers and Jen Baer. Liz Rojan is one of the kids offensively that can make things happen for the Leopards.
Lafayette with a good win over Colgate opening night at Colgate. That was their first opening Patriot League season win since the year 2000. Then they went down to Army and had all kinds of problems after the loss of Jen Baer and lost that ball game 89-54. Liz O'Connor gets on the board, 6'3", Crusaders.
Just a simple high screening roll. Lafayette had it defended well. Gary, you know, you've got to really get a hand in the face of these Holy Cross shooters. You can't give them any space at all.
We have a foul called on the rebound on Colleen Fitzpatrick, her first and the team's first.
And there you see Colleen Fitzpatrick, one of her strengths, Gary, is she has just got a great motor. She is always in motion. She's getting lots of loose balls, undersized, and she does a great job on the boards for that time that called for a reach.
You may not hear many whistles when Holy Cross is on defense. They are 8th in the nation in fewest personal fouls per game. They only commit 13.8 fouls a game. As we get a 30-second timeout called down on the floor, and it's going to be by Lafayette. So Tammy Smith calling an early one here. And John, certainly when you have the kind of ball club Lafayette has right now, and that hand is dealt to you, you don't want to get off to a bad start. Let's take a look at the Patriot League standings as they are now 2 games into the season. Yeah. American, Holy Cross, and Lehigh, John, and certainly it appears as if Lehigh and Holy Cross will remain up at the top the whole season.
Yeah, again, Lehigh's got it going over there. Sue Troyan does a great job. American's going to be in the mix year in, year out, but the constant, obviously, is Holy Cross. Bill Gibbons does such a great job. You know, the rest is pretty much up for grabs. Lafayette, a big win over Colgate. You're right, Gary. It's a young team in its developmental stages, and here at home against a formidable opponent, you got to get off to a good start. You don't want your confidence doused early on in the game.
Lehigh and American are playing each other today. So one of those 2 teams will remain undefeated, and the other one will get their first loss.
Talked about a subtle statistic, Gary, the least amount of fouls. Those kinds of little subtle statistics really underscore the kind of program and system that Bill Gibbons has run here at Colgate year in and year out. And that kind of continuity really does good things for you in the long run.
Doherty can't hit the outside shot, 6'3", Crusaders. Lafayette's only bucket, a 3-pointer by Rojan.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand, Gary. Lafayette's going to have to shoot the ball very, very well because Holy Cross can score.
Fontana puts the ball up and in. She's on the board. She had 20 against Colgate, 24 against Colorado State. Has 561 points and 6.9 rebounds per game in her career, and averaging 12.6 points per game in her career.
They're also versatile, Gary. They've got size, but they're not one-dimensional players.
Pass into McClellan. She got it in a good location and then committed the turnover by walking. And we're going to get our second timeout on the floor, 8-3 in favor of Holy Cross. You're watching Lafayette basketball on the Lafayette Sports Network. Stay with us. John, when you have good size, you usually get good transition.
This is where it starts. It starts with dominating the boards, and Plasek in transition, a great pull-up jump shot, 1-on-4. Boy, what great confidence.
Both teams stay with an iron 5 as we play the first 4 minutes of the first half.
Look at O'Keefe at 6'2", out front, putting the ball on the floor. Great passer from there. Lafayette doing a good job with their man-to-man defense, but again, a team as talented as Holy Cross is going to get their choice of shots.
Good call inside as a little bit of a stutter step by Mary Rose Campbell. And a nice job by Kelly Gill to find it. What's there? You see the change of pivot feet.
Yeah, and good discipline defensively by McClellan not to bail her out with a foul. She did not have her balance, and McClellan induced her into the walk.
The matchup has been very effective by Holy Cross, and they've got great size to play it.
8-3 Lafayette needs a bucket on this trip, Gary. They can't afford to get too far behind too soon.
Triple would help. It will not fall, as the shot by Costello does not drop. So Lafayette right now shooting 17% as they're 1 out of 6. Coming off a screen, a nice job inside by Liz O'Connor.
You know, Gary, the great teams do things off the pass. When you have got to make a living out of creating things off the dribble, it's a very difficult game to play. And that sequence illustrated right there how the game should be played. What you do without the basketball is more important than what you do with it.
Yeah, there they basically scored without dribbling the ball at all. Rojan tried to drop the ball down to Fitzpatrick. She was going one way, and the ball went the other way, but Lafayette will get it. And the Leopards are down by 7. And let's take a look at that offensive set, John.
Yeah, it's just a simple high screen, and significantly, it's O'Keefe, your tallest player, making the feed. You open the center when you bring your big person away from the basket and really allow that kind of room to move for the quicker players to slash to the hole without the ball.
Shannon Bush in the ball game, number 15, a 5'11 freshman from Doylestown, Pennsylvania for Holy Cross. And Lisa Andrews, 00, 6'3 sophomore, Concord, Massachusetts. She's averaging 5.2 a game as the shot clock runs out on the Lady Leopards.
You know, Gary, a good move here by Bill Gibbons. He's been around the block a few times. The matchup seems to be a real effective defense for this team. They've got decent overall size. Of course, Plasek's a little bit smaller at point. But, you know, they're long, and they take up space. They take away passing lanes, and there's absolutely nowhere for Lafayette to go.
Katie Coakless in the lineup for Lafayette, number 42, 5'10 freshman from Nazareth, played at Notre Dame. And we're going to get a foul here, as it's going to be called on Rojan, doing a little bumping inside. O'Keefe drops the ball off smartly to Bush, and Bush takes it down, won't go. And the rebound just laying there for somebody, so Katie O'Keefe picks it up and puts it up and in.
Well, Gary, the penetration initially really created a situation for Lafayette defensively where everybody had to be in a help position, and nobody was in position to rebound the ball.
Fits inside. She'll get hacked on the play by Fontana. And if anybody certainly needs to get involved in the offense, it's got to be Colleen Fitzpatrick, averaging 16.4. She's had 2 double-doubles this year. She's 3rd in the league in scoring, and she has hit double figures 13 of the 14 games Lafayette has played.
Yeah, and without Lindsey Myers in the game and without Jen Baer, who had been putting up huge numbers, Colleen Fitzpatrick is going to become a target of the other team's defensive schemes. So conspicuous to this point by her absence, Colleen finally gets on the board and gets Lafayette out of a bit of a dry spell here.
Kristen Doherty sits down as Brittany Rothweiler comes in from Longmeadow, Massachusetts. 5'7 freshman, number 23. Both foul shots dropped by Fitz.
Tammy Smith staying straight man-to-man here, and that's significant. It's no easy task to defend this team man-to-man.
No easy task to defend O'Keefe. As she takes it inside, Rojan will come out of the pack, and Plasek will commit the personal foul as Sarah went to get her. And that's the 2nd team foul against Holy Cross.
Playing a team like Holy Cross, Gary, whether you're home or not, your margin for error is very, very slim. And especially early in a game, every possession becomes important. You just can't afford unforced turnovers. You got to make the most of every trip you have. Lafayette down 7, needs a bucket right here.
Patty Fitzgerald is number 32, a 6'1 junior from Cranston, Rhode Island. as Lafayette turns it over. She's averaging 1.7 points a game as you get a look at the replay, and there's the travel.
Yeah, Rottweiler thought she had a gap, but that's one of the things the match will induce you into doing. It looks like a man-to-man, but there's always help position and a little bit of an inexperienced move right there by Brittany.
Some good news that'll come out of this season, despite all the injuries. The freshmen are going to get a lot of experience. They're averaging as a class 15.6 points a game. Lindsey Myers, who went down with a torn ACL, will redshirt and come back as a sophomore. And she'll join this freshman class then and be equal to them in terms of class. And John, there's certainly some blocks to build upon.
There's no question about it. A couple of these kids have really got some skills, and Colleen Fitzpatrick's going to be back around again, and I think Tammy Smith's got things out there.
Fitz is trying to put it up over Andrews, who goes 6'3". Fitz only at 5'11", and that was a difficult task, as Brittany Rothweiler will get the foul, as she was riding number 10 Placek down the court.
Yeah, she sure was. You saw the left arm. The referees are going to call that every time. It's a point of emphasis this year, but I'll tell you, Brittany is right in there, hanging in there. She's a young kid, getting her feet wet here early in her freshman season.
Jessica Conti into the ball game for Holy Cross, 5'8" freshman, Scarsdale, New York. He comes in averaging 1.5 a game. That pass inside to Andrews, and a little bit too high even for the 6'3" sophomore to catch.
In the last couple of minutes, Lafayette has made some defensive adjustments, or maybe they're just focused. Their focus is just a little bit better. But in the half court, they're not doing a very bad job defending Holy Cross.
Tammy's had to use 6 different starting lineups this year. Already out for the season, Sarah Bechtold with an ACL injury. It's another turnover by Lafayette. Placek on the move, and she wants to go end-to-end, and it will indeed drop. Nice, Sarah Placek.
Nice soft touch. I believe that's her 3rd field goal already, and she's so tough in transition. But again, Gary, the transition's not going to start if you can't control the glass.
Tammy calls a 30-second timeout. So, oh wait, now I'm not quite sure what the official. We'll take a timeout down on the court, and we'll be back. 14-5. We are back, and we welcome you back. 14-5. Other games being played today in the Patriot League Women. As we said, American at Lehigh, Holy Cross here, Bucknell at Navy, and Army at Colgate. Trying to go baseline is Rothweiler, and it's going to be another turnover as Lafayette has turned the ball over 6 times now.
Brittany drove baseline, had the good first step, but only a freshman from Longmeadow High School in Massachusetts. I'm not sure Brittany saw that kind of size over at Longmeadow.
Ball's on the floor, and Fitzpatrick, usually when it's down there, Fitz will come up with it. And she went down and indeed got it from Fitzgerald. But same situation the other way. Turnover.
Oh,
Great pass. Connie up and in.
Wow.
Pass from Shannon Bush.
That's why you love this game. I mean, that's just a thing of beauty. When it's played the right way and things are executed well, no wonder people love the college game, Gary. That's just a great play.
Holy Cross does it all. They rebound well, they shoot well, they transition well, and they play good defense. Kokelis is going to pull up and drop a jumper. So Katie Kokelis on the board. She's coming off a 10-point game against Army, a career high for her. And Lafayette expects big things out of her before she leaves this school.
Well, you made the point just a moment ago, Gary, about the freshman class. There are some kids here that are really getting their feet wet and you know, experiencing some growth pains. But I'll tell you, there's some kids that can play.
Bush misses the shot, and then Fitzpatrick gets tied up with Lisa Andrews. Possession hour belongs to Lafayette. And some wholesale substituting here by Holy Cross. John, another look.
Yeah, and again, Gary, you know, Colleen Fitzpatrick doing a great job on the boards, but it's just a situation of the size and strength of Holy Cross takes over.
All right, we've got a timeout called down on the floor. It is indeed a full timeout. And let's talk to you a little bit about Lafayette Sports Weekly. It's on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock, sometimes at 6:30 if WST has some other sport obligations that particular evening, but normally Thursday night at 7, WEST 1400 on your AM dial, or you can tune in on the internet at www.lafayette.edu as you join the head coaches, Tammy Smith or Fran O'Hanlon, or perhaps one of the assistants like LaRonda Murphy stops down every once in a while. And John and I stop by with Dick Hammer. It's a good listen for a half an hour. Tune in, Lafayette Sports Weekly. Here's Dan Mowdy.
All right, Gary, thanks. I got a chance to talk with Bill Gibbons, the head coach of the Holy Cross Crusaders. He says he knows they are on the top of the tier in the Patriot League and that this could be Lafayette's version of the Super Bowl tonight. And he has basically told his team to be aware of that. He's trying to take advantage of his height, and it seems to be working. Lafayette's Tammy Smith, however, is concerned that Holy Cross is making their screens work for them. They're getting the open shots. They're getting the open drives. She wants to see her team blast through those screens and be more aggressive on offense and shot selection. Now back to you, Gary.
All right, Dan, thank you very much for that report. Indeed, they're on the top of their game. Of their 6 losses, 4 of them were against ranked opponents. They have the 13th toughest independent schedule in the nation. And they have beaten the Lafayette Lady Leopards 11 straight times. The series record 27-5.
Gary, when you've experienced the kind of success that Holy Cross has, you know, you kind of raise the bar for yourself, and Bill Gibbons has done just that. He has really challenged his team with an outstanding non-league schedule.
Hopeless with a good move, it won't go. Fitzpatrick's going to get fouled on the play, as the hack will be on Campbell, and that'll send Fitz to the foul line. And Lafayette with a good offensive sequence there. Katie gets a nice jumper and a good rebound.
Love her offensive skill set. Really, it's the dribble penetration off the pump fake that collapses the Holy Cross defense and opens up the lane for Colleen Fitzpatrick to get an offensive rebound.
Colleen is a 71% free throw shooter. She came in leading the team in scoring and rebounding, 6.6 rebounds per game. As we said earlier, 16.4 points per ball game. Lafayette as a team shoots 71.4% from the free throw line. They're a perfect 100% so far, as Fitz is 4 for 4.
Lafayette down 7, kind of hanging around here, Gary, and of course with a 3-point shot, who knows, but they're going to have to shore things up at the defensive end.
That's Campbell. 15 is Shannon Bush. And wide open off one of those screens that Dan Mowdy was talking about with O'Keefe. But the follow-up that time is by Liz O'Connor. And O'Connor has 6 points, and she has been rather troublesome for the Leopards here early on.
Sorry, Gary, Kim Costello had perfect rebounding position, but O'Connor just went straight up over her without fouling and got the stick back, so no answer for that.
18-9, Crusaders. With McClellan, Costello, Rojon, Fitzpatrick, and Kokolas on the floor. Inside, that's where Fitz likes to catch it, and got a little too far under the basket that time, and that blocked her shot.
Yeah, it sure did. The drop step took her too far under the goal, and again, credit the interior defense of Holy Cross.
Conti, no, comes up a little short. Inside, Campbell with a rebound. Campbell back up, won't get it, but she will get fouled on the 3rd Crusader opportunity on that trip down the floor. And this foul is going to be on McClellan, her first.
And Gary, count the offensive chances. Right here is the first one. Goes up, no good. Now the second one. And on that one, of course, she draws the foul. So it's just a matter of size, strength, quickness, all of those ingredients that lead to a good offensive rebounding team, which Holy Cross is.
Campbell comes up short on the foul shot. The Crusaders as a team, 70% from the free throw line, but they have shot 83% from the line in their last 3 ball games, as placing
And Fontana come back into the ball game, and the second foul shot dropped by Campbell.
Lafayette on the floor with 2 freshmen and a sophomore, and another freshman, Kirsten Doherty, is sitting over the bench. She's played a key role in this game, actually started the ball game. So Tammy developing that youth.
Fouls on Plasick, and that's her second. And the team's 4th.
Significant in that Plasick is one of the offensive catalysts, but depth is not one of Bill Gibbons' concerns, Gary. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's not something that's got him real concerned at this point.
Yeah, John, we talked about he had 10 people on the bench, and he's basically they feel that's all they need. Lafayette has only 10 too, but they've got a lot of injuries, and that's part of their problem.
Yeah, a lot of those kids over there aren't in uniform for Lafayette, so that's a problem. 8 to shoot.
Boy, good hounding defense. Nice move. Costello in and up and can't finish. Lafayette's getting the moves, John. They just can't seem to finish.
Well, the size and strength of Holy Cross inside, and again, the effectiveness of the matchup defense really is making these shots a lot more difficult than they appear. Kim Costello did a good job of flashing to the basket, but once she got to the point where she wanted to release it, Gary, there are a bunch of tall people all around her.
We will be back. Katie Kokolis, a freshman, making her mark. Boom, we'll be back. Yeah. All right. No, that's not John Leone. He has not left the broadcasting booth. That is J.J. Jumper.
J.J. Jumper. It could be me, though. I had a J.J. Jumper. I was... Oh, my goodness.
He is the NCAA mascot, as today is Take a Kid to the Game program. And J.J. Jumper is in the house.
In the house.
Gary Laubach along with J.J. Leone working today's ball game. Glad you're with us.
Is that Mr. Bonnie under that thing? I think that's it.
John, his outfit's better.
Oh, yeah.
And they avoid the backcourt. Smart play by Placer. And if we get a replay of it, John will tell you why. As that's going to be up and in right at the buzzer by Fontana. And Lafayette can't get a break.
I mean, just a great defensive sequence for about 34 seconds, maybe 34 and a half seconds.
As that was so close to backcourt. If Placer touches it after coming in, it would have been a backcourt violation. She doesn't. And Kokolis can't hit the
Colleen Fitzpatrick, we talked about her motor, her nervous energy. She's in constant motion. Gary, she's clearly undersized in there against Holy Cross, but she's already done a great job in the interior.
Good screen as Campbell runs off of it. Gets the nice alley-oop type pass from the outside. And let's take a look at this. Now look how smart Plasick is here.
Now she knows she can't save it to herself, so she allows her teammate, in this case number 3, Mary Rose Campbell, to come over and retrieve the ball, give it back to Plasick, and saves not only the possession, Gary, but a two-pointer for Holy Cross.
Campbell misses the foul shot. She's only 1 out of 3 from the line. She's the only one to go to the line for Holy Cross in the game. And it looks like they're going to substitute for her if she makes this foul shot. She does. Now, if you're a real scorer, John, you look over and you see somebody's coming in. You miss that shot.
See, I know that. I knew you'd think of that, Gary. You know, the devious mind.
You got to get more minutes on the floor.
Thought about that.
Erica Kanzler in the ball game for Lafayette. She wears number 24. She's a 5'8" junior from Conningham, Pennsylvania. And she's got 1.6 on the board for her scoring average.
Holy Cross kind of plodding away with this thing, Gary. They're up 11 right now, but, you know, oh, great pass.
That pass from Rojan, and Fitz won't have an easier shot than that one.
Well, you know, Gary, true, but she's looking right in the face of big Katie O'Keefe, and it makes it a difficult shot.
That's a great catch of the ball by Lisa Andrews. Puts it up and in. The look came from Fontana, and it's 24-11.
How many of Holy Cross's baskets have come off of the pass? They have assisted probably, Gary, on 80% of their goals to this point in the game, and it really is one of the reasons why they are so effective.
Good block of the ball, and staying with it was Rojan. Kokolas thought about the shot, didn't take it. Down inside to Fitz, and Fitz runs right into a double team, and the ball slapped away from her by O'Connor.
Lafayette can't get gun shy now. Katie Kokolas, and I think you see Tammy Smith over there saying, Katie, go ahead and shoot the ball. With, you know, Lafayette's throwing the ball inside, but the size and strength of Holy Cross on the interior, it's just not paying off. We just can't, you know, Lafayette just can't match up with them in there.
And here you'll get a look at Kokolas knocking the ball out of bounds. It's not an easy play to knock it out of bounds with your left hand.
Oh, right, reaching across. Good quickness, though. Good foot speed to take away the baseline.
Fitzgerald inside, and a very quick kiss off the glass by Fontana. She has a half a dozen points, and the lead is up to 15. Rojan can't quite grab it, and it is knocked out of bounds off of Lisa Andrews. And coming back into the ball game for Lafayette will be Kim Costello. She will replace Kansler.
Well, it's clear, Gary, in the face of Holy Cross's matchup zone defense, Lafayette is going to have to make some outside shots. In order to make them, you got to take them. When Katie Kokolas is open, I think Tammy Smith wants her to pull the trigger, as the same thing with Liz Rojan, Kim Costello, and of course Colleen.
And a bad pass thrown away over the outstretched hand of Rojan. And turnover number 9 by Lafayette.
When you're up against it to begin with, Gary, you cannot afford unforced turnovers. Again, it's not been a blowout to this point. Lafayette finds themselves down 15, but it's been more of a gradual pulling away by Holy Cross. Lafayette needs to take advantage of every single opportunity that they're to stay in this game.
Great look inside from Conti. She finds Andrews. Andrews just simply kisses it off the glass again. And 28-11. And it's going to be stolen away by Holy Cross, and we're going to get a foul here on Doherty. And that'll be her second and the team's 6th.
Now the Holy Cross pressure is beginning to pay dividends as we take a look at Tammy Smith. And you know, Gary, it's tough enough to build a program from scratch, but it's quite another when you have to do that in the face of the kinds of injuries that Tammy has had to deal with to this point this year. Holy Cross relentless with their pressure, and there you take a look at Kristen Doherty. Better days ahead, Kristen. You're not going to see too many teams better than the one you're facing today.
Well, the computer had 16 fouls, and I had 16 fouls, but the official scorer had 7, so that's why she goes to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 and misses the front end. And Rojan with a little scoop shot.
Yeah, a little up and under there by Liz Rojan. A difficult shot right in the face of big Katie O'Keefe. It might have been Andrews that time on the inside.
Can't shoot over him.
Shoot under him.
You got it. It worked. Costello almost came up with a steal. Fontana, Lafayette now in his own defense. From the outside, bottom of the hole, a triple by Shannon Bush, her 8th of the year. They don't shoot a whole bunch of them.
Floor results in a wide open 3.
Shot no, rebound is controlled, and on the move quickly is Fontana. Drops the ball to Conti. Down inside, wide open, and that one's going to foul over the top on Patty Fitzgerald.
Yeah, so it happens so often. Fitzgerald misses at point-blank range. Nice entry pass, locates the defense. A little bit of a bump there by Fitzpatrick, but Fitzgerald goes over the back after the miss.
We will be back, 31-13, Holy Cross.
get a look at what the guys work with to get all kinds of information to us. They have a computer that sends it to a computer. Irwin and Layton is with us today. They're pleased to support Lafayette College's academic and athletic programs. Irwin and Layton has served Lafayette for more than 45 years. The company is currently construction manager for Lafayette's engineering complex renovation and recently completed the Psychology Neurosciences building and Alumni Center project, as well as renovation of Easton and Lurch Halls. For more information, contact Dave Himmelberger at 610-989-0100. Irwin and Layton, proud sponsors of Lafayette College.
They don't let it, I'm sorry, Gary, they don't let up, do they? I mean, up 31-13, and the pressure continues. That's their 16th foul.
They don't, John, and that's a sign of a good team. If you go for the jugular early, you usually get a W early, and certainly they're looking for their third win in conference play. And Bill Gibbons is always animated.
Oh, yeah.
Costello with a basketball as they drop it off to Koklitz. Over to Doherty. Doherty inside, two-step drop. That will not go, out of bounds. Dan Mounty spent some time in Tammy Smith's huddle. Here's Dan.
All right, Gary, Tammy Smith's latest concern is the fact that Lafayette is chewing up the shot clock and then kind of rushing their shot at the end. She wants to see an open shot taken and good shot selection. Again, we mentioned that a little earlier. Back to you.
Easier said than done with this Holy Cross defense.
Yeah, but Gary, you know, the point is this. You know, you got 35 seconds to shoot the basketball. You got to take advantage of the first 20 seconds of that shot clock. It has to be quality time. You got to be the offense in the first part of the shot clock, and before you actually make an honest attempt at the hole, it's too late. Now things become urgent.
Rothweiler is going to come back into the ball game. Doherty with a turnover. Lafayette has turned it over 11 times. Holy Cross only 5, as inside to Fitzgerald, off the glass, no, gets her own rebound. Battling in there as the Andrews with a nice quick pull-up jump shot. And Lisa Andrews has been very effective.
Yeah, Gary, one of the most effective places from which to attack a zone or a man-to-man defense is from the baseline. And Holy Cross doing a great job of utilizing the short corner and passing it inside out. And again, just another illustration of a well-coached basketball team and an experienced basketball team.
Trisha Indo in the ball game for Lafayette. Doherty tries to hit one from the outside and will not. Indo is another one of Lafayette's freshmen. Here's number 20, 6 foot from Glen Rock, New Jersey. Getting more playing time at 22 minutes in the Colgate game, 12 minutes in the Army game. So her minutes are increasing, and certainly they'll increase more and more with the absence of Jen Bear. Boy, good ball movement. Wow, that's great ball movement.
I've seen more touch passes in one half than I think I've seen all year long. It's just great utilization of the post people as passers, not only just simply post up players to score.
So Lafayette down by 22 with 1:48 to go here in the first half. And they're playing certainly the most successful program in the Patriot League. And Doherty puts it up, and a foul's committed by Holy Cross. And it's going to be on 32, Patty Fitzgerald, her second.
Now, Gary, this is a difficult move, but I got to tell you, remember, this is a freshman making this play. She might have got away with an extra step there, but, you know, when things are breaking down, you know, I'm impressed more by the mentality that it took to make that play than the aesthetic value of it. Kristen Doherty, only a freshman. This young kid also has an energy. As we look at what looks like, according to the guys in the truck, a line change. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I'll tell you what.
5 for 5.
That's right. With Billy Gibbons substitute, it's like a runaway truck. But he can afford to do it. There's not much drop-off among the players down his bench.
Doherty was Rookie of the Week for the week of December 9th in the Patriot League. And she sits down after making the 2 foul shots as Rothweiler comes in.
Dubbed Little Diesel by her teammates. Big Diesel is Colleen Fitzpatrick, and we're going to hear a lot from those 2 kids in the years to come.
John and I, lots of smoke and no smoke.
Smoke screen. Although you guys have terminated me here temporarily for the second.
Well, no, not you guys. That shot does not go as it's taken by Katie Koklas. We do have a guest announcer.
And I don't know, John, I don't know how in the world that happens, that you just get pushed aside.
Yeah, right. Well, you clearly haven't told John Feinstein how much you pay your color analysts around here.
Just because the guy's famous. Write some books. There's more literate than either one of us.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
Kokolas.
John Feinstein will be joining us for the men's game today, as Kokolas tried to drain a triple and could not.
And the eagle-less John Leone, I don't care, right? Scott Morris, boy, I tell you what, I owe him one.
I don't know. I'd like to see a little one-on-one before the ball game to determine who gets the microphone. I think you might win.
Yeah, I'm not playing him in golf, though.
Pull-up jump shot will not drop in Rottweiler. John, you'd never get on the air if we used golf.
No, I don't think so.
As the criteria. 35-15 as we approach the end of the first half.
Nice hesitation move by Placek, can't get it to go.
Well, maybe one of the biggest surprises of the first half was Lisa Andrews. She came in averaging 5.2 a game, and she has 8 first half points. Has been a real thorn in the side of the Lady Leopards as they trail this one by 20. It's 35-15. When we come back, Dan Mowdy will be talking with Athletic Director Dr. Bruce McCutcheon. Stay with us.
They got the ball inside. They just couldn't. 4 for 21.
19%.
4 field goals. 4 field goals.
Can you hear me on this? Okay. For Holy Cross, Andrews 8, Campbell 2. Placek 6. Bush 3. Conti 2. O'Connor 6. Fontana 6. O'Keefe 2. For Lafayette, Doherty 2. Rojan 5. Fitzpatrick 6. And Kokolas 2. That's it. All right. Hey, Jack. This past fall season, Lafayette, the athletic teams, not only found excellence on the playing fields, they also found excellence in the classroom. Dan Mowdy has taken aside the athletic director here at Lafayette, Dr. Bruce McCutcheon, and they're going to talk about the success the Leopards have had, not only on the field, but in the classroom. Here's Dan.
All right, Gary. Well, as you know, the academic standards here at Lafayette are just as high as the athletic and academic excellence. It's not easy to get a 3.0 or higher here at Lafayette College, and yet a remarkable number of student athletes have achieved just that in this past fall semester. Dr. Bruce McCutcheon, always a pleasure to have you on the Lafayette Sports Network here on RCN Sports. And you seem especially proud today. Tell us why.
Well, I am very proud. Our kids work so hard, both on the field and in the classroom. And last semester was just a tremendous achievement by all those students.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I mean, this isn't just kids who are smart, do well in the classroom, and kind of go out for a sport and see how it goes. Your teams performed very well this fall as well. Football was a great example. Field hockey, an excellent example, and both soccer teams really proven themselves on the field of battle.
Very much so, Daniel. Our mission really here is to be successful on the playing fields without yielding one bit to our academic excellence. And our students have really worked hard in both places. You look at the kind of commitment they have to make in a classroom to do those kind of things, and then turn around and perform in a Division I athletic program. It is remarkable.
No doubt about it. A lot of school spirit here, as you can imagine, both on the athletic courts and in the classroom. Let's talk about the whole atmosphere at Lafayette College. It is what they consider, at least others consider, a small liberal arts college. Scholarships not readily available for athletics or completely non-existent for the most part. So these students who go out for sports do it out of the drive that they have inside, and that really shows up both on the field and in the classroom.
It sure does, Dan. And what we do a lot of interviewing, obviously, with our students during the recruiting process, and once they get here, just trying to evaluate their experience. And one thing we find out time and time again, our students are looking for is an outstanding education and the ability to participate in a Division I athletic program. And we're doing that at a small, as you said, liberal arts college with really big university resources. And it's been just a wonderful match.
I mentioned the 3.0 mark. Well, believe it or not, 60% of Lafayette's fall athletes, all sports, achieved a 3.0 or better. And that's 18 more athletes than last spring for a total of 301 athletes this fall semester. A marvelous accomplishment.
It really is. Again, it's just a testament, really, first and foremost, our coaches. Our coaches are recruiting the quality student first and a quality athlete. And then they're coming here with a tremendous work ethic to get it done both ways.
A lot of hard work there by those coaches for sure to bring in those top quality student athletes. 3.13 was the team average for the Patriot League champion field hockey team that went to the NCAAs this year, and that is an all-time or a 10
proud of Coach Gold and those students. In fact, just yesterday I was signing a whole bunch of letters to students that got a 3.0 or better, our student athletes, and many of those were field hockey players, as you just mentioned. And each one of those notes I just put on there, winning a championship and garnering a 3.0 or better. Boy, that's outstanding.
Nice personal touch, Bruce. Women's field volleyball, men's swimming, some of the brightest lights that shine here in the fall sports, along with the other teams that we mentioned. Bruce McCutcheon, I wish we had more time to give these athletes credit, because they certainly deserve it for their hard work both on the field and in the classroom. Thanks for joining us here at halftime.
Dan, thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity just to tell our story about these outstanding young people.
Great job. Now let's go back to Gary and John.
Ironic, he throws it back to two guys who have never won a championship and never smelled a 3.0. We'll be back with the halftime stats right after this timeout. There really has not been any surprises here today. Bill Gibbons brings in a Holy Cross ball club that is, as everybody knows, favored to win this league. And Bill Gibbons, who is the 31st winningest active coach in women's basketball right now, certainly has built as solid a program as you can build. And John, they have not disappointed here in the first half. And Lafayette, with a whole bunch of their weapons already gone by the wayside via the injury, they just don't have any answers here right now.
Yeah, the absence of Myers and more recently Jen Bear just kind of compounds the problems that Tammy has in resurrecting the program. But you're right about Holy Cross. All the answers, we mentioned, you mentioned during the break, what kind of player Colleen Fitzpatrick would be if surrounded by, a different cast of characters. Lafayette was getting the ball inside very effectively. But, they're just overmatched physically, and that's something that Jen Bear could bring to the table, an inside presence. Colleen Fitzpatrick has to do that, and she's just undersized for
All
that.
right,
For
we're
that.
going to look at the individual numbers, and John, you know, Bill Gibbons will go up in the locker room and say, "Oh my goodness, I've got eight people who have scored and scored methodically," and that's the kind of balance you really want. And then you go on the other side, and Lafayette only managing 15 points in that first half because they just don't have the arsenal.
Yeah, 4 for 21 from the floor. We'll see that when we see the team stats, but you know, the individual scoring really underscores exactly how balanced and how deep Holy Cross is. And you know, Lafayette has had to make certain adjustments since Tammy Smith has taken the job last year, but even more adjustments, you know, in the course of things with the absence of some of her key players. You know, Fitzpatrick continues to play hard. Rojan's going to have to step up and make some perimeter shots. I love the attitude and the energy of the young people, the freshmen. But Gary, you know, when you go up against the Holy Cross, it's a tall order.
And they've lost arguably their best player in Lindsey Myers for the year. They've lost their best big player in Jen Baer for the year. The good news there, of the 4 people that scored, 3 of them are underclassmen. And John, as we take a look here at the individual or at the team numbers, certainly you can't shoot 19% and win a basketball game.
You can't do it, and you know, some of those shots appear to be relatively easy shots, but when you're shooting over the likes of Andrews and O'Keefe on the inside, Gary, those are difficult shots. Nothing is coming uncontested for Lafayette. Everything is contested by Holy Cross.
And if you're not shooting well and then being out-rebounded 20-11, that just compounds the problem, and certainly the Leopards down by 20 is a problem for them right now. When we come back, we'll take a look at the first half highlights. You're watching Lafayette basketball on the Lafayette Sports Network. We're at halftime, the Lafayette footprint here at the Kirby Sports Center. A whole bunch of nice gear being sold over there as those people set up shop for every Lafayette basketball game. Halftime, and it is 35-15. Let's take a look at some of the halftime highlights, and obviously they'll begin with Holy Cross and doing what Holy Cross does well, John. Rebound.
You're absolutely right, Kerry. When you can control the interior on both ends, it really triggers your running game. Plasek had 6 early points to trigger the Holy Cross offense. Look at the half-court set, Gary. We talked time and time again about Holy Cross's ability to move the basketball, and look how infrequently the ball touches the floor. They just do such a great job of executing the system. Look, pass, 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 shot, and the ball has a strange way of going in when you're in that kind of rhythm offensively.
Well, the Leopards had some highlights. One of them certainly the triple by Liz Rojan. That got the Leopards on the board.
Yeah, you know, and you know, Katie Kokolis, and there you see Colleen Fitzpatrick just doing all kinds of the dirty work inside around the basket, undersized, but tough nonetheless.
Katie Kokolis with a nice feed inside to Liz Rojan. Probably the neatest shot of the ball game.
Yeah, a little up and under there, and again, you know, that kind of underscores what we talked about before, Gary. Some shots that appear to the casual observer to be easy because of their proximity are not, because you're shooting them over or under very tall and talented people.
And certainly Tammy knows this is a growing experience for much of her ball club, and they just want to simply take those small steps necessary to become a really good basketball team. If not this season, then certainly in the very, very near future. We'll be back with second half action. You're watching Lafayette Holy Cross on the Lafayette Sports Network.